One of the best parts of Spider-Man, hell, any Marvel IP, is just the sheer amount of awesome villains that appear throughout the series. And there are set to be a hell of a lot in Spider-Man 2. Now, before we get into it, if you guys are interested in Spider-Man content, be sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on those notifications. There is plenty more Spider-Man content on the way, but with that being said, let's get stuck into every confirmed villain in Spider-Man 2. Now, first and foremost, and this is one that has been talked about probably the most so far, we have Craven, who has been shown, and it looks like he's going to be playing a pretty major role in the story of this game. Throughout a lot of the trailers and stuff, many villains do appear as almost like sort of side villains that don't have a huge role. We saw that in 2018 as well, that there were a lot of villains in that game that pretty much was just in it for like a single side mission, and so they're not really like main villains, if that makes sense. They're just kind of almost a hidden villain around the map. Well, Craven does not seem to be one of those villains. He seems as though he is, if not going to be the main villain, he's definitely going to be a main, I guess, driving factor when it comes to the story of this game. And one of the most interesting parts is that it isn't just that Craven is hunting down Spider-Man, he is hunting down pretty much all the other villains that are going to be in this game as well. And so I think this storyline, or this thread in the story, is going to be very interesting to see, and I cannot wait to see all of the stuff we get surrounding Craven. Now, when Craven was first introduced in the cinematic trailer, we do see one of his henchmen pretty much showing him at Manhattan on a tablet, saying that, you know, what about a new hunting ground, obviously alluding to the fact that he is going to be moving towards Manhattan and starting to hunt down people in the city. And on this screen that he is shown, we see a bunch of other villains appear, which leads me to presume that they will end up being in the game. Now, that does not confirm this, so all of these ones are about to list through, that does not confirm that they are going to be in this game. Some of them may end up being in DLC, some of them may be part of the main story, but some of these did also show up in the first game, and they could just be on the screen because their last known location was in Manhattan. So just keep that in mind, but I dare say the fact that they've been shown in a trailer definitely points towards the fact that pretty much all of these will surely end up being in the game. Now, the first character that appears here is actually Black Cat. She was also actually seen in DLC for Spider-Man 2018, so that is very promising, and I do think, like I said, this is one that would make sense to appear in the game. So hopefully we will be seeing some more Black Cat in Spider-Man. Next up, we have also got Prowler here. Prowler wasn't actually in the base Spider-Man 2018, but he was in Spider-Man Miles Morales, and so this is another one that would make sense to see. I believe he was actually put in prison in that first game. I think he turned himself in, and so I'm not sure how this one will work, if he will actually be in the game or if he's just going to be, like I said, they know his location is there, so maybe Craven is just considering hunting him down, but maybe he can't get to him because he is in prison, or potentially Prowler has actually escaped. We're going to have to wait and see, but again, that is going to be some very, very interesting storylines here with Craven hunting all of these guys down. We do also see Wraith on the tablet as well, and even though it is 5 years old, I'm not going to spoil Spider-Man 2018, but she was also in that game, just not as a villain until later on in the DLC, and that's all I'm going to say on that front, just for anyone who's maybe currently playing the first Spider-Man and doesn't want to be spoiled. Next up, we do also see Tombstone, who once again was also in Spider-Man 2018 during a side mission. He was a very brief appearance in the game, but he was in the game nonetheless. Now, next is a very, very important one, it seems, and this is the Lizard, who also shows up, and this is another villain who seems like he might be, I guess, a bigger character in the game, as they've definitely shown a lot of stuff around the Lizard so far, a lot of gameplay and stuff where the Lizard is chasing Peter. And I dare say, of all of the villains we've seen so far, we've probably seen the most gameplay when it comes to the Lizard. Now, Peter mentioned something about Harry being hurt and that Dr. Connors is the only one who can save him. And then we do also hear that Craven is actually hunting the Lizard as well, which means he's sort of involved in the story for multiple reasons here, each of which seem pretty damn important. So I definitely expect to see plenty of the Lizard throughout the game. Unlike a lot of the other ones I've just mentioned, I don't think the Lizard is just going to be like a really brief cameo. I dare say he's going to be pretty much a recurring theme throughout the game. We can also see Taskmaster appear on the tablet as well. He shows up towards the end, and he was also in 2018 from memory, so I'm very excited to see more from Taskmaster. Now, moving on to the big bad, and a lot of people have mentioned Venom, who is essentially confirmed to be in the game. He's obviously being used in a lot of the marketing, but there is actually a lot of speculation that it might not be Eddie Brock or Harry Osborn. Instead, Peter may actually become Venom, which would be a very awesome twist in the storyline. We know, and we can also kind of see it throughout a lot of the gameplay and the trailers, that Peter is becoming more reliant on the symbiote, and it is kind of taking over. And a lot of people are speculating that he may just get taken over by the symbiote, which would obviously result in him becoming Venom. So it's hard to say whether Venom is actually going to be a villain, or if he is essentially just going to be Peter and therefore a playable character. I guess he would still be a villain in that case, but obviously it's a bit different if it is just Peter. he's not necessarily in the game as a villain, and it may not be like Peter and Miles versing Venom. He may just be his own character that we get to play as, and I guess he would still be a villain, but it would just be a very, very weird twist and put us in a bit of an awkward spot in a way, because at the end of the day, we would then be the villain, if that makes sense. So like I said, he is essentially confirmed to be in the game, but we just don't know in what capacity yet. So he is worth mentioning, but like I said, he may not be the typical villain that we're all probably expecting him to be. Now, lastly, Mysterio was also shown off in the latest trailer as well, and was apparently confirmed through some of the trophies in the game too, because he wasn't really shown as Mysterio, if that makes sense. So a lot of people weren't too sure if this is him, but it seems to be confirmed through some of the trophies, and that is yet another pretty big villain appearing, but to what extent we don't really know yet. Now, those are all of the ones that I can find so far from researching throughout the internet. Please do let me know if I've missed any. There's so much content to go over with this game, and I've actually just been to PAX over the weekend, so my brain is currently absolutely scattered. I've probably missed like half the villains, to be honest. So if I have missed any, be sure to let me know down in the comments, as I'm sure there is definitely the chance that I've missed some throughout some of the gameplay and some of the trailers. If you are new to the channel and you are interested in Spider-Man content, be sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on those notifications. There is plenty more Spider-Man content on the way. But with that being said, thank you all very much for watching. You guys have a great day, and I'll catch you all in the next one.